Greetings and welcome to yet another episode of Outstanding Sri Lankan Role Models. Each week we bring to you some exceptional Sri Lankans who have given their heart and soul for this country, who've served when the cameras were on and when no one was watching, who've served those in high places and people that we don't even know of. And today I have a very inspiring person, and a person who we have called as almost like a mother to Sri Lanka Unite. She has been a blessing to us from the very beginning, and it's an absolute privilege to announce her as a recipient of this year's award. I'm speaking of none other than Mrs. Nayana Karunaratne. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on receiving this award this year.
Thank you, Sri Lanka Unite, and thank you for all the honor and this privilege and this opportunity.
Oh, it's our privilege, and as we've watched how you have served this country, we want the next generation to be inspired by you. There are so many young men and women out there who can listen to your story and build a better life for themselves and serve at a higher level. So I want to talk mainly about what you have accomplished. Here you have Nayana salons, and then you have a world-class training institute now that you're leading, not just in Sri Lanka, in India, in Pakistan and elsewhere. And how did this all start? You didn't start overnight, and you didn't have somebody come and gift it to you and say, here Nayana, you've got a business, now run it. You started from nothing. Tell us about that story.
I think ambition was always there because first of all I wanted to have a son, and I realized when I was just before my 15th birthday, 14 and a half or whatever it is, but I heard my mother talking to somebody long ago saying that she always had this, I used to play with my grandmother's things, and so my mother noticed it, but I never understood. Children play with dolls and hair, so it was nothing new. So then the first ambition was to become hairdresser. Then the second ambition was to be successful at it. Then the third one was let me have my own salon when I got my experience. So it was always one step at a time, but I think the ambition was always there for that step. And it was a very clear ambition, very clear path. I'm very sure I want to have a salon. So sacrifices were made along the way, obviously personal at that time when you were a young child. But ambition was always there. So if you ask me from the time I started hairdressing to today, never dreamed of it. But when I reached one level, I always dreamed of the higher level.
Yeah. You never stopped, you continued to progress and get better.
I never stopped, and again, Prashan, people are asking me this all the time, but it's natural to me. I'm not pushing myself.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Or rather, my mind is set.
Yeah. That's amazing. So just talking mainly about, let's look at what you have today. You started off with a small as a hairdresser, but now there's one salon, and now how many across the country?
I have over 10 now.
10 in Sri Lanka, and then you're also India, and then now your training school is not just in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, we are in Pakistan, India, and just starting in Bangladesh as well.
So you would have never thought this young 15-year-old girl who was saying, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be doing hairdressing, to come to this stage.
Not like that, but I would say ambition was always there. When I was a young person and I used to see magazines and see certain people, why can't I be like that? I always thought I was the best hairdresser in the world. I always thought. And then when I saw other people better than me, but then I always thought I can also be like that, or I can be better. I never thought. I think the attitude was very positive, always positive.
Yeah.
Always positive. And I think I also have this quality: when disaster strikes, I get strong. When there's a block, I get strong.
So let's talk about that. Sri Lanka has, I'm speaking of character for outstanding leaders, Sri Lanka has been through so many difficult times. You've seen us from the times of the JVP insurrections to the civil war, and then your business is affected by the Easter Sunday attacks, the pandemic, the political instability, all these things, but you're refusing to quit. You all continue. There are many young people who start business, it's too hard to do something here, I'm going to pack up and leave. Or they'll say that, there's no future for Sri Lanka. But you all are here, and you're taking care of your staff, you're ensuring that they have a future and taking the hit. And then still expanding the business in a situation like this. Talk about that grit, that character.
It must have got built gradually, I think. I am very fortunate to have been born to my mother, who was a very strong woman. She was widowed at the age of 32, and she just made sure that we we lost nothing. And I remember she not only looked after her 4 children, she looked after the entire family, mostly the in-laws, everyone. Then with Hairdressing, I was so fortunate to work with Janet. I think another fantastic woman of substance, as good as my mother, I would say. In fact, some things were more, because my mother was a simple woman, she was a glamorous woman, and very particular about beauty, and very hardworking, both together. So the balance and the heart of gold she had. So I think that upbringing by these 2 ladies has helped me build up my character. Now, talking about disasters, yes, when I started Hairdressing was the JVP uprising. And there was curfew, we had no taxis, no buses, but the weddings went on and we went to work. And my mother used to say, everybody's closed, everybody's under curfew, how come only you are working? But we had work and we enjoyed that. It was fun. Then came I started my business in 1980, my first salon, and 80 came the riots. So the LTT and I are the same. The 2 businesses grew together, but it didn't put us down. Well, I did well, so did the others in my profession and the country, business people. I suppose we could have done better without a civil war. But we did. Then, of course, as you say, the uprising, now the COVID now. But I think I always think you try. I don't try to imagine. Now, these people talk about the second wave is coming, the 4th wave is coming. Why? I never think like that. I never think like that. I strongly believe I'm not going to get COVID and I'm going to do the needful for that, reading, exercising, whatever. Similarly, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So let's face today. So how do I pay the salaries today is my current problem. I'm not thinking about next month. And the world is like that. So you have to look at it from the positive side and make the maximum use. The very first lockdown, which came so suddenly, we went home for 2 days and we were stuck at home for 2 months. You know, after 20-25 years, I really practiced my hairstyles and my skill. I enjoyed it. I must have done 300 hairstyles. So I really do something like that.
Yeah, I remember calling you during the lockdown saying, how are you doing? And saying, I'm learning new things. And I'm thinking, here's a person who's been doing this all their life, but still learning. So talking about competence, you don't stop learning. So how have you improved yourself over there? What are those key skills that you have sought after? Looking at new trends, you have been through multiple generations of fashion.
I'm surprised myself because everyone knows my academic qualifications stopped at O-levels, and I haven't got my results at it's in the school. And but my mother gave me very good advice, but I think she was quite shocked that I refused to go to school after O-levels exam and said I want to do Hairdressing. But she gave me one advice. She said, okay, this is what your choice is, go ahead and learn Hairdressing. But I want you to be world-class qualified and be employable anywhere in the world. She always believed that girls also should be educated and employable in the event of necessity. So that was good advice. So the learning went on. In Hairdressing, there is unfortunately no end to learning because every 6 months trends change. And I started learning. You know, how many clients would I have met in the past 50 years? 5 million, 10 million, and you learn from everyone.
Wow.
You learn from everyone, the way they talk. Lots of my children were brought up by the advice I got from certain side. I remember when I was pregnant, they would say, Nayana, now you drink the egg drip like this, you break egg. I still think of her when I make the egg. Beat it 75 times. So, like that, everything. People talk. People who communicate. So I learned from them. I learned about life. And I think I always you come here and if we stay able to set up in a different way, that's something to learn. So you always learn. Mind is very open. So academically I'm not educated, qualified enough. I would say, but I'm very proud also, Prashan, at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, I've gone to every single university in this country I've lectured.
Yeah.
Believe that, but I haven't gone to university.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, what can't the others do?
Yeah. And you've not just thrived in your industry as a motivational speaker, as a character building person, you're a brand building person. You've gone in all across every channel, every university. You've been there. So that's amazing and it's inspiring. But it's talking especially about, you're not just an entrepreneur. You're an innovative entrepreneur, but I've seen you as a person who really cares and loves this country. I can genuinely say that you have a compassion for all people. And some people say that those who are especially in your industry, you really get to know all types of people. You're very intimate with them and they open their heart to you. And you love all Sri Lankans as a result of that. Tell me about that. Why is it, especially regardless of ethnicity, religion, socioeconomic, you care for these people and you're concerned about them?
I think I went to Bishop College for the first 8 or 9 years of my life. That was helpful because we were, all of us were there, senior in the Catholic schools, everyone was there. So we never realized who are we. That's number one. Number two, my job. Of course, it happened itself. My family never differentiated. And then the job, you don't realize who you are going to, which house you go into, and you automatically learn to respect every religion. We go to Muslim houses, we go to Catholic houses, Hindu temples, everything. So you learn to respect them, and you understand, appreciate their culture. Yes, I am pretty Sri Lankan because I'm quite proud of this country, and I also think that none of us who compete haven't put enough. Yeah, because opportunities are plenty. Yes, material facilities are there. Because I can talk about this very clearly because we did migrate to Australia. We did migrate to Australia, and those were the 2 miserable years of my life. I came running back, and I think the decision to come back was one of the best decisions I made. And then also, it also helped. Now I have come back, let's stay put. I've been privileged to travel a lot, enjoy all the other countries, but this is your country. This is your country, and the sense of belonging. Simple things, Prashan. I love Western food, but at the same time, some polsan ball and rice, or the sari you wear, or you get caught the police and say, please. You know, you can't do that anywhere else. It can only be done with your people. So I think we are in a nice country. Yes, we have our issues, but all of us get together.
I want to talk more about compassion because I've seen you for Sri Lanka Unites and for a lot of organizations as well. You do a lot of charity, you do work, you serve people, especially emerging young entrepreneurs, investing in them, mentoring them, and then also going to rural areas, speaking to women. In a context where still a lot of our workforce, some women culturally are not given the opportunity to go into the workplace in some places, but helping them know that you can be an entrepreneur, you can stand up, and helping our worldview expand. Talk to me about that. Why do you engage in all these things?
Many things I would say. Number one is that I firmly believe a lot of things I have got are only because I was born to a better family. You know, I was born to a middle class family which could afford certain things, not property, and I was also born to very two families, both fathers and mother's side, very good people, very middle class, very simple, and very balanced, good people. You know, we had a very balanced and very ordinary life, and every one of us believed in living decent life. We were never, both parties, both sides, we were never ever, no one was ever able to buy us from especially my father's side, they are very highly qualified, all professors, and but none of them have lost their head. So that is a plus point. Second thing is, I think we believe, my mother taught me, Janet taught me this, that the more you give this, the more you get. In my Buddhist, we believe in that. So I think lots of people are not bad, Prashan. They are scared to give, thinking they will lose on what they have. I believe that if I give you what I have, you will not give, he will give me something back. So if you give something, you are bound to get double, for sure. So not in the idea of giving, so and giving is a great satisfaction. So these reasons, especially the opportunity that I have, why can't the others have? Because especially Prashan has seen people brilliant, 100 times more talented than me. But they don't have the opportunities that I had. Intelligent parents, like that. So that is where we want to give, and I think with every passing age, I am really wishing that something of mine from me will remain with certain people. Now yesterday also I met a lady in one of my salons, and she said, Nayana, long ago you gave us a lecture, and I remember everything word by word what you said, and I still follow. I think she made my day. She made my. I can't remember where I went, which company. She said long ago, maybe 15 years ago, and she said every word I remember. So it makes me very happy. So as time is running short, I'm very aware of that because I'm not young anymore. And so even 5-year plan is, I might be 15 years, but it's short time for us. So the more you give, the better it will be.
Yeah.
I firmly believe.
Yes. Thank you so much for all what you do and give, and think of broader Sri Lanka and how you support so many people. But I want to talk about how do you see your business and what you're doing, what's the next vision for it, but at the same time for Sri Lanka. For our generation, if you're advising us and the generation younger than us, what would be your vision for Sri Lanka? What should this generation work towards to build something we can all be proud of? How do you know we've achieved something as a generation?
Okay, the first question, what I'm really committed now is to education. For education, because I was again privileged to see the world's best hairdressers, because I'm in the world federation, and the best, the best of the best. I have moved around it, and I've seen their work, and I know what the standards are, and I know how they work, and all of them are like us, simple, down to earth, very proud of themselves and very giving. So that's why they are successful. They are very giving and sharing. So, and also most of the, except for a few countries in Asia, the Asian region needs very good solid foundation education. So that is where we started this with a big team of international trainers. So I really wish that if we could spread it to as many countries as possible. It's got a good start, and obviously it's not going to be done in 1 or 2 years, and I'm really hoping that a good young team will join me and take it from after me, from me, and the others, and make a change in the region. Where Sri Lanka is concerned, there is nothing wrong with Sri Lanka. There is nothing wrong with Sri Lanka. We have lots of plus points. Number one, we are very small. People say our economy can be turned around in 4 months, but I am sure 6 to 8 months time we can, because we are a small economy, a small country. And we have unfortunately been governed by the wrong people. So, wrong heads. So that's all. So I think the young generation should understand what is right and what is wrong. And the issue I see here is that to run a country or to run a family or to bring up children or to run a business, you have to have some very few things. I would say like 4 pillars of your house. Honesty and integrity. There is no way that you can be successful in anything for more than a very short time if you are not honest, and the integrity in whatever you are doing. Number 2 is the discipline of self. Because otherwise, how can you perform? You have to have whatever you want to do, you have to have the discipline of self. So if you are disciplined, the others are. If I am disciplined, my staff are disciplined. If you are disciplined, Sri Lanka is disciplined. So discipline. Number 3, to put in your 100%. Whatever you do, put in your 100%. Don't do half-hearted. Number 4 is to make sure that you are a content person. Because if you are not content, you can't do this. If you are not sincere and content. So the integrity and honesty and that comes, sincerity comes there. You are doing the job that you want properly and you are organized. And then we are a happy nation. We are a happy nation because there is no point in being a hardworking nation when you are not. Remember the Chinese those days, they were more like laborers. Not like that. You are happy. So if the young generation can follow, because young people today, I find not all. I find that they are not. Everybody is blaming them, but I think they are not guided.
They're not?
Guided.
Yeah.
They are not guided properly. They are not told, don't go only in one direction. There are different directions. Everybody is chasing qualifications, then they just because they get a piece of paper, they get their head swollen, because that is what they are being told to do. So if they are given this balance and if they are given this understanding and asked to commit themselves to the number of hours, honestly, it doesn't matter whether you work 2 hours with sincerity or 5 hours with sincerity. You will never fail. This country will never fail.
So well said. Thank you so much for all you do and for being an inspiration and a role model to all of us. And we hope that the young people who are watching will be inspired by this story and put your lessons into action. So thank you for joining us.
I inspire people because I'm just telling you what I have.
No, you most certainly did. Thank you. Thank you for watching yet another episode of Outstanding Role Models of Sri Lanka. For our young Sri Lankans, you are our nation's best hope. And we hope that you will be part of the solution. Because whatever the challenges there are, together we can overcome. And I hope you're inspired by stories like this to know you may start small, you may not have all the skills now, but with the right work ethic, being honest, committing to see change, and being content with what you have and knowing that you can do better, we will accomplish great things. So thank you for watching. Join us again next week for yet another episode of Outstanding Role Models.